What's up, everyone? Good morning. All right, announcements have been made. What are we working on today? Today, I am working on more details. We're gonna get sculpting on this and make more progress on the sculpt. Hey, Kivarsha, how's it going? Okay. Had to go last time, but I'm in love with the progress so far. Thanks. We'll hopefully make some more today. I just last time I just got the model into ZBrush and we were just kind of adding the initial forms in, so I'll be doing more of that, and then we'll see how far we get. I feel like this is probably going to come together fairly quickly. I've been sick and out of work all week. Also working on skin commission for a Serato model. Nice. Serato is, I think, my most sculpted dinosaur like ever. I think I've sculpted like 5 or 6 of those guys. Anisman. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. I think that's a new name. I'm fairly decent at remembering people's names, I think. Don't think I've seen you here before, but welcome. Hello and good afternoon, Vitor Papel. How's it going? It's afternoon for you? Where is my bucket? Hello. I am a little... my little doggo kept me up for a good chunk of the night, so I am a little drowsy. It's gonna take me a little bit to fully wake up. Ah, I live in Brazil, okay. Ah, okay. I gotcha. I try to remember who's in the stream. When Costco, what engine will players be able to use to create their own mods and models, for example, to create a new playable species? I'm assuming it's going to be Unreal Engine. Unreal Engine 5. I don't remember what version it is right now. .6, I think. But I don't know what version the game is using. I don't really like implement stuff. I just like hand it off. So that would be, if you want to ask Furious, that would probably be a question for them. Where's my bucket? Very interesting to see how the design takes place. So many details. Yeah, there's quite a few different steps that go into it. It is a pretty involved, lengthy process. It would be great if you enabled the community tab in the channel. What do you mean, Vitor? What channel? Like the YouTube channel? What advantage would that give us? If you're talking about like YouTube and all of that stuff, or even the Discord, that's not really my realm. I stream on here, but it's not my channel. You know what I mean? Ennisman, have you heard about the rising prices of DDR5 RAM and RAM in general? I was lucky and bought my DDR5 RAM when it was still cheap. Yeah, unfortunately, I have heard about that. I was talking a little bit about it last stream. I was going to build a new computer this year. But at the time, like I was kind of like holding off. And then all of this stuff happened, so who knows when that's going to get made, when that's going to get built. It's very annoying. Seems like every time I want to build a new computer, there's something going on with like supply and demand of stuff. Last time I was building a computer, it was COVID, and graphics cards were really high because of shortages and stuff. And then people were there's like scalpers who would buy them and then resell them at like ridiculous prices. So it's been definitely hard to be someone who requires a custom PC or like a very powerful PC to work. And I prefer to make my own because I can do it exactly how I want it. But yeah, it's not great. T-Rex, hi. The community tab on YouTube is good for interacting with people, but Discord isn't a bad idea either. Yeah, we have a Discord, Victor, if you want to join that. I honestly don't know what the community tab, all that it entails. I'm assuming there's a reason why it's not enabled. This is Islanders channel, technically, I believe. So I don't know. I am completely in the dark about that kind of stuff. When it comes to social media, management and interaction stuff, it's kind of confusing. Sharky, hi, how's it going? This is the subdivided model, yes. Not very subdivided, it's still fairly... It's only on subdiv 5 or 6 or something. It's not very high. I'm just getting the initial forms in there. Where's my bucket? Do you have any favorite dino? I think growing up, all of us had one. For me, it was Stegosaurus. I remember finding out at some point they had a very small brain, and it was a tough pill to swallow. Oh, really? That it was kind of sad. I also remember when I found out how smart, or how big their brain size was, and having a little bit of a it is kind of a downer. That's pretty funny. Growing up, what was my favorite dino? I'm the type of person that I tend not to I tend not to maybe it's just my personality, or maybe I don't know. Maybe it's just a tendency to go against the grain. But when everybody thinks of dinosaurs, they automatically think of a few. It's obviously T-Rex, Stegosaurus, or maybe not Stegosaurus right away. T-Rex, Triceratops, all those main ones. I never really liked the main. I've never been a huge fan of T-Rex, although I do think it's cool. I tend to go for the more unique looking ones. I really like stuff that has crests on it. So probably when I was younger, I think I was a big fan of Dilophosaurus. Especially after seeing Jurassic Park. Dilophosaurus is really cool. Cryolophosaurus, when I was growing up, Cryolophosaurus was discovered and announced. And I thought that guy looked really awesome. Ceratosaurus is cool too. But yeah, I think growing up it would probably be Dilophosaurus. And then now I think I mentioned I'm a big fan of Megaraptors. I have a bit of a soft spot for Carcharodontosaurids and Megaraptors, and allosaurs. Because they were some of the first dinosaurs that I actually reconstructed. So I learned a lot about them. Or as much as I could at the time. A nice man. That's who you are. A nice man. Not honest man. I'm crazy. It is kind of was your name spaced out differently before? I do remember a nice man. I'm trying to think of I mean each dinosaur like family has its own like I have a favorite in each like family, I would say. But it's hard to think of all of them. Like for pterosaurs, I'm a big fan of like the Darwinopter. I think they have their own like family, a Darwinopteridae. Darwinopterus is a good one. I really like the way its face is shaped. I think it looks really cool. Tapejara is a really cool one too. Or I think I don't know if they call it is it Tapejara or Tupandactylus? I think they renamed something. Technically. But those guys are really cool. Yeah, it would depend on the family, I suppose. Starting to define the leg muscles here. It's the thing about sculpting pterosaurs is it's kind of hard to work on the legs and the arms because this wing membrane can like kind of obstruct the forms because you want to have nice continuous forms. You like the arm should feel like it wraps around entirely, right? But with the wing membrane in the way, sometimes it's hard to get that to look right. So that's a little unique challenge to working on pterosaur stuff. I believe that with AI, we will soon be able to achieve a great deal in terms of hardware optimization. Maybe. I'd prefer AI, turn its attention to that sort of problem rather than trying to like sculpt or paint or do all that stuff that we're trying to do. I think that's a much better application for it. But in the meantime, it causing all these prices to go up is not fun. By the way, I recently learned that Allosaurus roars from Walking with Dinosaurs are just chimp calls slowed down. Yeah, that's really interesting how they like take new animal calls and like manipulate them to create dinosaur or even just like creature vocalization in general. That's been pretty interesting to figure out like what sources they use. No, it would be really hard to figure that out on your own. It's very warped, I'd imagine. I don't even remember what I can't remember off the top of my head what the Walking with Dinosaurs Allosaur sounds like. I haven't seen that documentary in a long time. Pizza Hands, how's it going? Forgot there was a stream today and woke up at the perfect time. No worries. Thamiro, how many jobs do I have? Like on Echoes of Extinction? Or what do you mean? Like how many jobs do I do? Just in general? For EOE, I'm just a well, it depends on how you look at it, I suppose. Traditionally, in game development, the roles that an artist would have are very like separated. So a lot of times, like I do concept, I sculpt. Some people just view these two as two separate things. I texture. What else do I do? illustrate. That's it. So some people in a more traditional like structure, these would all be separate people. So 4 different people doing these jobs individually, and one just passes their work onto the other. Usually something like that. But in a small like indie studio like us, a lot of these roles get taken up by one person. So you have what would be called like a generalist. So all of these jobs go to one person. There's a sometimes you have like 3D generalists, 2D generalists. Usually I would say they just call it a generalist. So technically that's what I am. I think more and more in the industry, unless you're like in a huge company, like in a huge AAA company, you're not going to see the roles divided like that anymore. Usually you're doing more than one thing, I think. It's good to know more than one thing too, because it helps you in the pipeline. Like it helps you be more effective at your job in the pipeline. The Miro tech, yeah, I guess you could call me an all-arounder. That is the skill set that I've tried to develop over the years. Themiro, that's a tough one. Dinocyrus is a really tough one. But I mean, you can do it. I mean, you can always change. Like if you think that maybe you can revisit it later when you learn more. You don't have to like stay stuck with it, you know. Besides learning how to use 3D modeling and sculpting, did you have to study something related to paleontology? No. I mean, I've studied paleontology sort of independently on my own. More as like a enthusiast or sort of hobby type person. My emphasis in illustration was more... So I got my major in illustration, but I focused more on creature design. And in creature design, you're expected to learn a lot about anatomy. Comparative anatomy. So that means you're looking at basically all the animals in the animal kingdom and like their similarities, their differences. And I just so happen, I mean, of course, I love dinosaurs. I always have. So when I study comparative anatomy, it usually relates to dinosaurs somehow. whether it's studying like reptiles or birds, because I want to learn more about how it usually funnels to dinosaurs somehow. I did take oh my god, I'm getting tongue tied. They're paleo reconstruction classes. One I took was from David Krentz, who is a good friend. David's really awesome. He's very nice. He's a very nice guy. I've had the opportunity to work with him a few times, helping him with his 3D models. But I took his course, which is a very good course online. I don't know if it's up anymore. It might be. I don't know. You'd have to look. And then I also took another one from Tyler Keeler. I'm going to see if I can spell his name right. Tyler Keeler is a really awesome paleo sculptor. He works at the Field Museum in Chicago. I think he's like their resident like sculptor or something like that. He has a very nice job. He has a job I wish I could have. But he's the guy who did like the very well-known like sculpt of the Spinosaurus skeleton. If you looked up Spinosaurus, you've definitely seen his stuff, especially like right around the time when they announced the swimming, like the semi-aquatic, like the tail, you know, the wide paddle tail and all that stuff. He's the one who did the like main reconstructions for that. So I took those two courses, which helped a lot. The Miro. Let's see. Should have started with a small one like Microraptor or Dryo. I would start with something that doesn't have feathers and doesn't have fur. Something scaly, probably. And something very well known, like something that has a lot of data on it. Lots of bones, something that you're not like having to cross-reference multiple animals for. I mean, T-Rex is probably a good one if you don't do the feathered like approach, because we know a lot about T-Rex. Triceratops is also a good one. Who else? Allosaurus is probably a good one. Dinosaur sketching, the one from Noman Workshop. That one's good. I have that one too. Nanotyrannus. I mean, you could try that too. I don't know how much information we have on Nanotyrannus. Some hadrosaurs might be good to start with too, because we actually have like skin impressions and stuff of those. Not to say what you're doing right now is impossible. It's just, yeah, you might be like stacking the deck against yourself a little bit. I mean, when I did my first paleo reconstruction, like my first like strict one, I chose a dinosaur that was completely in like, it was not very well known at all, and I had to do a lot of cross-referencing, lots of research to even get like an idea of what I could do with it. So, you know, just coming from my perspective, I probably would have done it differently if I were to do it over again. But it was a good experience. It was fun and it was challenging. So, just depends on what you're going after. I almost got taught paleo reconstruction by Mark Whitten, but he left this summer. I signed up for the unit. Oh, really? That's really awesome. Mark Whitten would also be a really cool. I have his book. I've been looking at his pterosaur stuff for this. He'd be a really good person to learn from. He's one person that I'd really like to meet and have a chat with. He seems like a really fun, interesting guy. Let's see. What program am I using right now? This is ZBrush. Yunsel, did you read what I yapped about? Are you talking about can you try Quetzalcoatlus? Where can you buy the game? So we do have an As Darkid coming down the pipeline soonish, I suppose. I don't know. But I will be doing something similar to Quetzalcoatlus, but not exactly Quetzalcoatlus. And then where can you buy the game? It'll be available on Steam. You could try sauropods. They're easy to sculpt. Yeah. What dino was the one that I reconstructed? It was Astrolobinator. And then after Astrolobinator, I did let's see. Let's go take a trip down memory lane. So I did Astrolobinator. This is the very first one that I tried to do. I mean, by today's standards, there's a lot that needs to be redone. I'm actually going to redo this soon. But that's a project that I want to revisit later, because Astrolobinator actually is my favorite dino. So I'm going to redo that guy. And then after him, I jumped into Enhanguera and Paki, which is not like these three species. They don't have as much data. This one's very fragmentary, at least it was. This guy is also pretty fragmentary, and then Paki, we don't have as much data as a lot of people think there is. But yeah, these were all very challenging. in different ways, and they all need some rework. This is one of the reasons why I'm so familiar with Tropeognathus, is because these are technically related. At least, I think Anhanguera is a synonym or something. Or no, Ornithochirus is a synonym of Tropeognathus. Anhanguera is different. But this is one of the reasons why I'm probably moving so fast through Tropeo, is because it's basically a Tropeo, it's just slightly different. And then this skeleton of Pachy was very, very challenging. Lots and lots and lots of reference material, trying to track stuff down, like getting reference for how the back of the head works was a huge challenge. Like especially the placement of each of these little nodules. What was funny about this too is, like, after I completed it and I posted it online, somebody from the Royal Tyrrell Museum messaged me, and they were asking me, like, hey, how did, what resources, like, how did you know this was, like, structured this way? Like, there's not a lot of resources out there about this. So, like, what were you looking at? And I was like, I'm just doing my best, man. Like, I was using the internet. So it was a little bit like, it was kind of one of those moments of validation where, like, I was very nervous about that in particular. I mean, there's still stuff that needs to be updated about it. There always is. But getting an email from a paleontologist from a museum where that data is held, and that having them, like, kind of verify what you're doing is correct was nice. And so can you try doing Quetzalcoatlus nithropi? I think we have some sort of, I don't remember the species. It's something close though. It's a large as Darkid. Nanotyrannus is a mid-tier carnivore. He was 1.8, and are you talking about like meters high, and 3.7 meters long? Frostpaw, hello, how's it going? New paper came out about Quetzalcoatlus northropi. It's officially larger than Hatzegopterus. Oh, really? Okay. Pizza. Thank you. Detail is insane. Luke's super sick. Thank you. What are those demons? Those demons are part of my other stuff that I do that I'd never show people. My creatures. Sharky, I've used that Pachy for one of my models. It's super useful as reference. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's I think it's probably been used a lot as reference by anyone doing Pachy. There was someone in another Discord server that I'm part of, and they were working on a Pachy too, and I think it was Matt who they were asking for good references, and Matt told them to look at mine. So that was a good feeling. Matt Dempsey, I'm talking about. Zebras costs 441 euros. I think that's per year. Yeah, it sucks. It's a subscription Do you have any go-to brushes aren't available with standard ZBrush? Give me just a second. Where's my bucket? Thanks so much for the donation. I have to go to work. Gotta go. Thanks for the quick chat, Raul. Coffee's on me. Have a great day. Thanks, man. Really appreciate it. Let's see. Do you have any go-to brushes that aren't available with ZBrush Standard? Yes. So there are some that I've made and some that are downloadable. So this crease brush is really good. Crease. That's an awesome brush that I use a lot. These orb brushes here are really nice. So orb cracks, orb curve. So orb cracks is like really good for making deep cuts and things. Sometimes I use this to outline scales or like on keratin. Like, you know, you can come in here and get some really nice creases and stuff in here. So cracks is good. Orb curve is good. It's another crease brush, but it's like it's slightly softer than like Dam Standard, I think. It's like in between Dam Standard and like cracks, orb cracks, I would say. But it's a little bit harder than the crease brush. The crease brush is pretty subtle. The other brushes that I like are this clean buildup one. I don't remember where I got this from, but it's really nice. It's basically clay buildup, but it's got like a softer alpha. I like this to start building up form a lot. You can also just go to clay buildup and turn off the alpha, and you get like it's a much broader stroke, but you can get a similar effect. What else? These ones are mine. These are what I like to use a lot, like gravity. This one is what I like to use to add wrinkles and stuff, to add weight to wrinkles. So I like using that gravity brush a lot. This is my scale liner, which is, it's basically, it's like Dam Standard, but it's a little bit harsher, I would say. I use it a lot to outline scales. There's not enough resolution here. That's why I called it scale liner. I'll make scales with this, clean them up and stuff. Your mesh has to be very high though for it to work well. Then the RAR Standard is just like, it's a very subtle like crease. And I like to use this to like start drawing in like ideas for like wrinkle folds or like just little details, like little form changes, imperfections. It blends very well, and it's not super, it's like sketching kind of. Like I use it a lot to sketch forms where I might want them, because you can get rid of the mark very easily, or it'll stay very subtle. Like when I'm not exactly sure what I want and I'm just kind of feeling my way around, like here, I don't know exactly what kind of wrinkles I want. I just know I want something. I'll kind of use this to kind of explore a little bit and figure out what the texture is going to be like here. You know, if I like it, I'll commit to it. If not, then you can just smooth it away. You're trying to recreate the demons in my dreams. No, there's just other stuff that I like to, like I like kaiju, I like monsters, I like, spooky stuff, scary stuff. These were, let's see. These were for actually like classes that I took. These guys. This was a class I took on creature design, and this was with Peter Koenig. You guys know who Peter Koenig is? He worked on Jurassic Park. He worked on like Dragonheart. He worked on Starship Troopers, sculpting bugs and stuff. So this was me just like learning from him and trying out. Do I have? Thought I had multiple views of that guy, but this guy, and this is how I learned how to 3D print too. So I 3D printed this guy, so he's on my shelf over there. Same with this one. This guy was sculpted, 3D printed. This is how I learned how to do like all my 3D printing stuff, like all these cuts here. So they key in, like processing for 3D print and scaling and stuff like that was all this. So he's 3D printed too. I actually made molds of him too. And I have copies of these guys. Like I have like 20 copies of these guys just sitting in my garage, but I have one on my shelf over there as well. So this is stuff I like to, I don't get to do a lot of it, but that's stuff I like to do also. I want to do more, but I just haven't had a chance. Yeah, that's where those demons come from. Pizza. Thanks so much, man. Thanks for the donation. Really appreciate it. Kivarsha, thank you. I want to see the other creatures, the demons. Very interested to see them. I have so much. I feel so like I feel like guilty and like overwhelmed at the same time because I have so much art just sitting in my hard drives that like is like this close to being finished and then ready to like post, but I just haven't posted them, you know. I gotta do that. That's part of what I want to do in the new year. And this is, I just realized that sounds like it's like some kind of New Year's resolution. And New Year's resolutions are like notorious for not working, right? But no, like I've had this planned out for a while. In the new year, in the first, I think maybe like the end of January, beginning of February, I'm going to start streaming on my own channel. And it'll be all focused on just getting my personal projects done, you know. Picking a creature that's almost, you know, near completion, finishing it up, posting it online, you know, just sharing the process, chatting with people, but mostly like a way to like focus on my stuff and then keep me kind of accountable for completing it. And then hopefully, I mean, I think it'll work. I'll be able to interact with, you know, other artists and stuff, and also get my own work done and like, you know, make progress in that area of my art. Because I feel like it's been very lacking. Like I post a lot of like stuff that I'm proud of and stuff that I've worked on for like other people, but not a lot of my own stuff. So that'll be the goal early next year. Can you look up Marabou Stork and use color inspo? Marabou Storks are really cool. I have some. I thought I had some. I use them a lot for like beak texture reference. But I should look some up. But I know what you're talking about. The Marabou Storks are really awesome. Pizza hands, thank you. Gotta get me in a position where I can make some more demons. ERX, I'm kind of scared that with that many dinos in the ecosystem, it'll be hard to balance with some being really similar. Yeah, that's always a challenge, right? You know, I don't know. That's the area where Furious is working, and I think he has a lot of really good ideas for how to do that. So I'm not really worried. I think it'll turn out well. I think Furious is very conscious of like issues that could potentially like pop up with like balancing, and he's working really hard to try and get ahead of that, you know? Because we have some examples of how that works in other games, right? So we can kind of anticipate stuff. And so the Isle is scared of us. I don't know about that. That's not the goal, at least, right? Like, we're not trying to make anybody scared of anybody. We're just trying to make a good game. Do you have other programs to make the texture instead of using ZBrush? You can use a lot of other programs. I mean, you can use Blender. Blender will work. You can use like Nomad. Nomad Sculpt is good. I don't remember, is Mudbox still a thing? Is Mudbox still a program that is out there for people? Because that used to be like the alternative to ZBrush, Mudbox. What else? Maya, maybe? I'm not sure. I mean, you can texture in like and Substance Painter and like Mari and stuff like that too, but it's not like real. Like, it's, when I say real, it's like you're not actually adding dimension to a mesh. It's like you're adding it's like images, right? It's just paint, basically. If you want it to be like actually part of the mesh, you're gonna have to work on the mesh itself. So your options are kind of limited. Like, there's a few, but you're gonna look at something kind of like ZBrush, and unfortunately, they tend to be. I mean, Blender you can use for free. There are limitations, I think, on how far you can take it. But you'll be able to get it most of the way, I think. Nomad is good too. Especially now that it's on desktop. Batuk, are you owner of Islander servant? No. I'm just a sculptor. I'm Islander's the project lead. So this is his project. It's not mine. I stream on his channel because I'm working on the models, right? But this isn't my stuff. ERX. I mean, I agree that competition is good for gamers, but I'm just saying that's not the intention. I think saying like oh, these people should be scared of so and so, you know. It makes it very adversarial, and that's not the goal. Like, we're not here to try and make enemies of any other game. We're just making a game, you know. A pizza. All right, I have a choice now. Hazelnut coffee, Egyptian coffee, or black? Ooh. I've never tried Egyptian coffee. If it were me, I'd be curious what that tastes like. No, ERX. I'm not saying you're like causing trouble or anything. It's just, you know, I'm just trying to make it clear that that's not the intention. You're fine. Don't worry. I mean, I agree with you on, like, competition is good, right? I mean, you see it happen all over the place in other game genres, right? Like, Chiara Obscura, that new turn-based RPG that won like a ton of awards in the Game Awards. Expedition 33. That's kind of shaking. I feel like that's like shaking stuff up as far as like turn-based RPGs go. So it happens all over the place. Like, because of that game, I feel like other turn-based RPGs are gonna like think differently about how those types of games can be played, and it just makes everything better. Or it should, in theory, it should. You never know, like, like when Elden Ring came out, right? I'm a huge fan of Elden Ring and the way it like presents its world. I like that it's very different from like other open world RPGs. Like, it doesn't hold your hand. It doesn't tell you where to go. You have to do a lot of exploring and like figuring stuff out yourself. There's not like a compass and like all these like tracking things that tell you where you need to go and your next objective and all that stuff. Like, when that came out and like it was such a huge success, I thought a lot more games were gonna like try to adopt that sort of approach. And I was actually looking forward to that because I really like open world games. They're some of my favorite games out there. But I don't know. I don't feel like I don't feel like it's really done that. Like you see some of these games coming out, these open world games, and they're still like very like Assassin's Creed, like GTA, open world style, you know. You got the mini map, and then you got the objective markers, and you got to go, you know, everybody's pointing you to something and you telling you where to go and all this stuff. So I don't know. Sometimes it drives change, sometimes it doesn't. And I don't know, it's very hard to predict, I think. Billy Scott. Hey, I've recently gotten the chance to become a dev for a nice server on 5M and a couple other games it branches off to. What do you think would be the best software to start off with? Billy, I'm not really sure what that is. 5M? You're like making a game yourself? Unsel, can I give you a tip on the Asdarkid sculpt? Sure, I'll try and remember. It might be a while. The Soldrake, just so you know, I plan to play Flight of the Ornithochirus from Walking Dinosaurs whilst playing this guy. Unsel, I'm trying my best to like keep up with chat, so give me a second. I see your little emoji guy there. Pour it out. Pizza. I'll make one for you too and pour it out for the homie. I got it from a former coworker who was from Egypt, so it's a real deal. Nice. Oh, that sounds really good. Oh, it's a modded server for GTA 5. I don't know a lot about that, Billy. Because GTA 5 doesn't run on like a... So yeah, I don't know like the ins and outs of it. Are you just like swapping models and textures? Because if you are, I mean, you could probably do most of that in Blender. Like, are you asking about what software to use? I'm not like a huge modder. Like I've done like a few things here and there, but like nothing very in depth. So I'm not super familiar. Majority of what I've done isn't even, I don't think you could even consider modding. Like it's just like I become familiar with the tools so I can take, like, it's basically like getting game models out of a game so I can see how they're built. I don't really do anything with them, like, other than try to learn from them. I did that a lot with Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter and I think it might have been Ark. Yeah, Billy. I would say Blender is probably your best bet. Because it's got the widest range of tools, I'd say, and it's free. Like, it's not a lot of investment to like get in there and do stuff with. I don't know, like, the pipeline, like when you're modding stuff, like, there's lots of little quirks, right? Because you're taking a model, you're trying to put models inside an engine that you don't have like full access to, right? Or like sometimes engines like work differently with how you export stuff, or like how textures work, or there's little nuances to that. So you'll probably have to like learn that through trial and error. Could be kind of frustrating, but I'm sure you'll get there. I mean, I wish I could help out more, but I don't really know much about that. What what are you modding? Like, what will you be adding to the game? Out of curiosity. I did play GTA 5 for a while. My friends and I went through all the heists in GTA 5, which was really fun. Pretty ridiculous. But yeah. Custom cars, clothes. Oh, I see. Oh, if you're adding clothes, you might check out Marvelous Designer. Excuse me. Marvelous Designer is really good for making clothes, because it has like not very it's physics based, so like it creates patterns and stuff on a mannequin, and it like drapes them naturally, so it has very nice like cloth simulation. So that might be a good one for you. Do you have a date for the free test demo? I don't, sorry. I am not sure when that's going to be available. Yeah, no problem, Billy. I didn't know that you could really mod GTA all that much. That's interesting to know. When we were playing, I didn't really look into it. I guess it makes sense. Where exactly do you plan an Iceman? Where exactly do you plan Tropeo to have feathers? Give me 1 second. I'll show you. So, according to our reference or our concept, which is right here. So you can see mostly on the body, right? Body, parts of the head, and then on the wings membrane, like this area, we'll have pycnofibers. So if we were to map that out here, actually, we might... Here, I'll do something kind of fun. Now, of course, it's got to autosave. Sharky probably in Blender. I will do the feather cards in Blender somehow. I'm still on the fence of like how exactly I'm going to do that, but it will be some sort of mix of scattering and like hand placing, because I'm sure there's going to be very specific spots that the like procedural stuff is not going to handle well. So I'll just take care of that with hand placed cards. We'll see how it goes. This might look really stupid. Who knows? Let's see. Fiber mesh. He's gonna look like a big fur ball. Sharky, are you open to paid add-ons for the process? Because I found a hair tool to be quite interesting. Sure. Yeah, if you want to send me the link, I'll take a look at it. I'm open to anything that makes my life easier. If I hit accept, we have this like fuzzy mesh here. It doesn't look right because this is just a preview. We'll see how, excuse me. We'll see how, I probably need to make it more dense, but anyway. We can play around with this stuff too. Turn that off. Like we can, I should make it more dense. I wonder if let's get rid of this. We need more density. We'll double it. Oh man. Oh, I did it on the wrong. I put hair on his teeth. That's fun. So this will go up. So I'll double that density and then hit accept. And then turn all this off. This is just like, this would just be like placeholder stuff, like just to visualize. This would not be going into the game. It's too dense. And we also need to groom it. So where are my brushes? Where are the fiber mesh stuff? Groom. Have to like pull it back. Give it some directionality, because right now it's just like hanging downward. Sent you link, send it on Discord. Okay, thank you. I will take a look for sure. Those fuzzy teeth. Individual hairs for teeth. There might be some aspects of this fuzz that we can use in game, like to create textures from. But This is ultimately, it's like way too dense. It's particle based, right? So games don't really, that's not really optimized for games. But I thought it would be fun just to play around with it and see how everything looks. And so what do you mean neck flap? What is the neck flap? You mean like a dewlap sort of thing? Like this? Because that's not, unfortunately, that's not part of the concept. I'm following the concept that we made and we got approved. So I'm not going to make like big design changes on the model like that. That's just not originally part of the model. So part of the concept design. Reminds me of Primal Carnage. I played Primal Carnage for a little bit. I remember being a really big fan of the models in Primal Carnage. Like at the time, the animation and the models looked really great. Like I remember the Carnotaurus, seeing like the Carnotaurus run. That looked really cool. Flying around as a pterosaur and picking people up was fun too. Tiffany Hunter, Dinosuchus. Dinosuchus is not in tech demo. We don't have a Dinosuchus. We have Puru. We have a Purusaurus. But the Puru is being animated, so it won't be ready for the tech demo. Have you seen anything from a small dino project called Claude on Steam? What do you think of the concept? Claude. So is it like, okay, so we got some exploration of a functioning theme park. Survival elements, maybe? I see him, a third person like shooter. I think it's pretty interesting. I wonder, is it multiplayer? Like, I'm wondering, is it an extraction shooter? Co-op survival horror game. Okay. I think it looks pretty cool. I guess it all depends on just how well it's executed. But I think the idea is pretty good. Yeah, it's there's not a lot of games that have you going through a working theme park. At least that's what it seems like in that game. Because the enclosures seem like they're like intact and like the animals are still inside of the enclosures, but maybe they get loose, or maybe you have to get inside them somehow, because I did see him like in the enclosures with the animals. Been waiting on JP Survival to come out. Are you talking about the newer one with the female protagonist with the glasses? Yeah, I don't know. I want to see how like that game plays. I don't feel like they've shown a lot of gameplay, honestly. I've seen a lot of like people talking about like behind the scenes stuff, like trying to make it like the movies, and how they achieved like the mocap and all that stuff, and then like lots of cutscene stuff. But I haven't seen a lot of gameplay. I would like to see how it plays. Is it linear? Is it more open? I'm not really sure. I feel like I don't know. It would be difficult to place a game in that setting. Like, I feel like they should have just done like a unique story instead of having this person kind of trail behind the original cast, you know? Because she's stuck on the island just after the other characters like leave, I think, or like she's like trailing behind them. And I don't know, I feel like it's hard to say. It feels like you're just treading on territory that we already know, right? Like we already know what happened on the island. We already know like where everybody was and how they escaped and all that stuff. It almost feels like they should have just used the original cast. Like, just let me play as Alan Grant or somebody through the events instead of trying to retell the events through this new person who I have no idea about. Maybe that would have been more interesting for me, at least. I don't know. But I don't know. I want to keep an open mind about it. I do want to play a good Jurassic Park game. I would love to have a good Jurassic Park game. That's not like, I know we have like the park simulators, which are cool, but I would love to have like a survival game, or like a, you know, like a Resident Evil, Dino Crisis-esque Jurassic Park game. Yeah, like Mr. Hazy, like it would have been cool if you were like maybe like a different spy, or like some other sort of person who was trying to infiltrate the facility. Or it could have been Ned, I suppose, but I mean, we know how that all ends, you know. He's a big goofball, you know. Maybe somebody a little bit more capable than Ned to go in and get some embryos. And then you end up somehow stuck or in trouble there. And like, because you could have a totally separate experience, and then you could even explore other areas on the island that we don't actually know about too well. Because they do mention stuff in the book, and there's like maps and stuff of the island, of areas that you don't even visit inside the story or in the film. So maybe we could have gotten to go there, stuff like that. Are there dinosaurs that are in the books but not in the movies? It would be cool too, just to see a game that sticks much closer to the books than the film. That might be cool too. But that would be like probably an independent thing. Is there something like a roadmap already? I think so. I'm not sure. I don't know if there's like an official roadmap. I know we have like general like goals announced of what we're trying to do. I mean, right now it's just all about getting the tech demo ready. Yeah, Mr. Hazy, that would be sick. The forbidden area, aquatic breeding area. Yeah, I feel like, especially people who grew up with Jurassic Park. I mean, we're all. I mean, I want to see something a little bit more mature. I mean, there's people on the island getting snacked on by dinosaurs. It's not like. It's not a nice sight, you know? So I want a game that makes me afraid of a dino. Instead of like, I mean, I love Jurassic Park, but I've never really been afraid of anything in the Jurassic Park universe. It's always just been like awe, you know, like I wonder if it's possible for me to be afraid of a dinosaur in a game, or if I would just like if I'm too much of a nerd, too much of a dino fan. I mean, yeah, in the book, the scene where that the baby is being eaten by I think they're compies or some small dinosaur is pretty horrifying. There are moments like that in the books. I feel like, and that's probably a good start for this area. I feel like I need to ramp up the detail a lot more though. Like the forms in here need to be this needs more volume. Pterosaurs are a little bit harder than dinosaurs in some ways because a lot of their textures are much more subtle. Like it's a lot of skin. It's not scaly skin, it's just like skin. Which is a lot more, I feel like it takes a little bit more time to get across. Another area that could be cool is in the Jurassic Park 3, that kid gets stuck on the island, right? And he has to like survive there for like months on his own. So it's a whole, is he on Site B or is he on the original island? I can't remember. But I mean, if he was on Site B, then that would be like a whole new island that doesn't really have any like super identifiable like moments or like landmarks, which you could, I think that's a little bit more to a game's advantage because you can like elaborate and you can create new stuff. That's not really restricted to like what's been seen already. And then you have this opportunity to play as a character who's like super new to this whole world, and like they don't really know what's going on, and they just have to struggle to survive. I think that would be a cool setting for it, for a Jurassic Park game. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff. I just wish somebody would make it, you know? That's the thing too, is like there's a lot of passionate people who would love to make a game like that. I mean, I'd love to make a game like that, but there was like that guy who tried to, I think there was a guy who tried to make a game set in Jurassic Park, or just like it was like a tour thing, I think. But I think they came for him and like shut him down. I don't know how that all got resolved, but yeah, pizza. I agree. It does suck. It kind of makes you wonder, like, who's managing all that stuff. Because to me, it seems like a no-brainer. Like, it's such like a easy thing to gamify, but like nobody who has the power to do it is doing it. So I'm like, who's making decisions up there? Who's like, I always wonder that stuff, you know, like who's actually calling these shots. And like, it'd be really interesting to like sit in a meeting, you know, be a fly on the wall in these meetings where like they decide what they're gonna do with the IP, or like what games they're gonna make, or what the game, you know, what all this stuff is gonna be about. Like what their idea of what good is. And like, I don't know, sometimes these IPs are just completely disconnected from their fan base and like what their fans would totally jump on if they had the product there. But I don't know. Yeah, they just want money grab with the park builder games. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. I've been interested in the park builder games, but honestly, like, it's a very shallow reason not to play. But there's just some of the dinosaurs that I really don't like the look of, so I can't get myself to like play, you know. Because a lot of the motivation in those games is like, oh, you gotta work to unlock the new dinosaur. But if the new dinosaur looks really derpy, I have like zero motivation to play the game. I have been thinking about Prehistoric Kingdom. The dinosaur models in there look really awesome. But I haven't had an opportunity. There's so many games I want to play. That's one thing that keeps me from playing like Ark. It's just the design of the dinos. Pizza Hands, I feel like it's similar to the film industry where several suits will come in and tell people with great ideas, no way, bozo. That doesn't sound like something I can make billions on. Billions ain't enough. That's right, yeah, I bet. think I gotta check. I gotta check the shape of this skull here. It's probably a little bit more boxy than I have it. Glorious. It would be nice if the most prominent details of the keratin on the beak were different on each side. Yeah, that's definitely doable. It's just I prefer to start with symmetry and then add asymmetry later, because asymmetry kind of screws stuff up if you start too soon, because like a lot of the model still needs to be developed, and I just don't have the bandwidth to like keep in mind like what's different on this side versus the other side. So it's just more efficient to like start it out like this, and then once we're closer to the end, add in a lots of asymmetry on one side or the other. But also the problem with the game model is we have symmetrical UVs, so it's very hard to bake out, especially the normal map. The normal map has the surface detail, so all of these little like, all of the surface detail that I'm putting in here goes to the normal map. But the normal map is a mirrored UV, so what's on the left side is on the right side. So unless we change how that's handled in game, unfortunately, like this side is going to be what's on the other side too. So like the pigment on the dinosaur can be unique on each side because it's that's on a asymmetrical UV. Oh, excuse me. But the surface detail can't. At least not to my knowledge. I would have to ask Furious about it. Because the asymmetry is really nice. It's just, yeah. Nathan Anderson, can I ask a question about the tribals? Sure. I don't know if I can speak to it very well, but yeah, go ahead. Let's try another matte cap just to make sure we're not getting used to the visuals here. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Glorious. Yeah, I wish we could do more stuff like that, but I'm just not sure how it would work, you know. How much do you think EOE will be once it releases? I'm not sure. I don't have that info. Sorry. I'm assuming it'll be, you know, on par with similar early access titles, you know? But I can't tell you an exact number. Nathan, I wanted to know, will tribals have different skin shades, like darker skin pigmentation, and a different hair texture, like Afrocentric hair and styles? I'm assuming that we will. I think that's a very, like, you know, for most character creators in games, that's a very reasonable expectation to have by default. So I would guess so. But the thing is, we would just have to make those, and we only have one character model right now. So that would gradually have to be added. All right, everyone. I'm a little bit over time already. I got a little wrapped up and getting all these wrinkles in here. I'll give you a look at how the Tropeo looks right now. So we did a good amount. Lots of micro details. Like I said, a lot of the stuff on Terrasource is very subtle. It's much more subtle than dinosaurs, at least. But I'm gonna keep working on this. We'll keep picking away at all this stuff. Yeah, thank you all for being here with me today. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Saturday and the rest of your weekend. Wednesday, I may or may not stream on Wednesday, because that's like, yeah, we won't do a Wednesday stream because that's Christmas Eve, and I'll probably won't be here on Saturday as well. So this next coming week, we probably won't stream because of holiday stuff, but we'll pick back up in the new year. I'm guessing, right? Yeah. So I won't see you all until 2027 or 2026. Until 2027. I'm gonna take a whole year off. So yeah, that's crazy. I didn't think about that. Yeah, so to all of you, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. And I'll catch back up with you guys in January. Bye, everyone. See you soon.